Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to go over a story titled, My Wife Married Me Because of My Best Friend. And guys, this story is about a guy who's not too old and finds out that his wife of 10 years actually married him because of his best friend, to get close to his best friend. All these years he thought he had the one, that she truly loved him, blah, 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 and she was faking the whole time. And you're going to see how this whole thing goes down, big downward spiral with him, with her, their marriage. However, in spite of all this, and I definitely feel bad for this guy because he just never saw this coming, and rose-colored glasses, whatever. In the end, well, let's just say that given what she did and how it was all a bunch of BS and everything, one could say she definitely gets hers in the end. I'm not going to say what, but you'll see here. But anyhow, let me go over here, guys, just to show you how in life there are people that will marry you. It goes both ways, but women generally do it more than guys. They'll marry you for your money, your position, your friends, what they can get out of you, and you never quite know. This is why you spend years getting to know them, etc., etc. And even then, you can only investigate so much. So, it says here, my wife married me because of my best friend. This sounds fake, sounds like drama script, and I don't effing care. I need to get out somewhere, or I'm going to go nuts. We're from the same high school. Apparently my wife had a huge crush on my best friend since junior high, and my best friend knew about this. Well, why didn't best friend tell you? Backstory here, it's been 10 years since we got married, and she still loves him. This makes it 10 years of the one-sided love for her to him, and 12 years of my one-sided love to her. She only got close to me and dated me so she could be in touch with my best friend. She wanted to be part of his life no matter what, so she chose me as a scapegoat. Obviously, he finds all this shit out later. And this guy never knew. And his questions about what was going on with the best friend, huh? And here I thought she loved me. How did I find this out? She told me 3 weeks ago. What did she tell me? Why did she tell me? Because I decided that we were ready for a child and brought up the discussion over dinner. She told me that she could make love with me, but she could make love with me, she could marry me, or even act like she loved me, and obviously they're pretty damn good at job at that, but she can't bear to give me a child that is mine and not his. She can give birth to a child who looks like me and not him. What? Marry me, sleep with me, but you can't give birth to a child that looks like me. Does this guy look like the fucking elephant man? So she can't have my child, and that day she left me, that day. She didn't even say she was sorry. Not that it will make anything better, but she did say she did her best. Did her best, and what is that? That's the end of the story, and I have no more to tell. She just left and is not picking up my calls, emails, texts, or whatever way of contacting her. This chick is freaking nuts. I haven't reached out to my best friend either. I know they are not together. Actually, maybe I'll be happier for her if she does end up with him at this point. Smack! What the hell are you talking about? And here I am not even feeling anything, and I'm not sure if this is normal. This feels like a whole big play. I'm not even sure if I was even put this right into text. I'm sorry, this is a giant mess. You're not feeling anything because you're so numb, because it's just so out of nowhere and you can't believe this, just like everything's been shut off. But we're going to get more into this thing going on with her and him and all that in a moment. Now on to the update. This is a series of updates to this wacko story here. It says here's an update. He says, hi all. Hopefully all have been well. Thank you for the kind and comforting words. I really appreciate it. I'm not sure if this is an update or not, but I'm in a better mental state today, so let me get this stuff out. Let's get this started. It's long, and even though I'm in a better mental state, I may not put these words together as I want it to be since I have had so much to say. There are lots of TMIs in this post. Excuse my grammar as well. Let us start off with my wife, or what kind of person she was first. My wife, for one, is a good person. You sure about that, ma'am? Or was a good person. At least the person who I was with would be viewed as a good person from social perspective. I'm not saying this to protect her. I'm giving you an idea how people would view her in general if you knew her. She can't pass by homeless people without giving them anything out of her purse. She can't let a friend be sad or would do anything she can to comfort them. She is full of emotions, empathy, sympathy, love, etc. Yeah, everybody but you. Everybody, unless it's a big giant fake act for everybody else too. She volunteers every weekend for seniors and homeless people. Many more can be listed, but you get the point. She's very attractive too. That is why I fell in love with her. She is charming, smart, and a kind person. A dream girl. I would have asked for anything else. Yeah, well, your dream girl's turned into your nightmare, man. We were all friends, as I've mentioned, and when she showed interest in me, I also eventually grew feelings for her pretty quick. Why would I hesitate? Like I said, she was a dream girl to a man, at least to me. Smack! Dude, she's a piece of ass. There are 8 billion people on the planet. Half of them are women. I know there wasn't 8 billion people when you met her 10 years ago, but darn close to that. She's one chick. But a lot of guys, they made that smoking hot girl is also charming, and that's all she wrote. For all I know, I was her first guy. Well, how would you not know that you're not her first guy? Let's think about this, dude. She didn't even sleep with another guy, and I know that for sure. Okay, if you know that for sure, I don't need to explain, but okay, fine. Her family was strict, and she lived with them until marriage. So I wouldn't say she really had a chance to get physical with someone. Well, with the exception of a certain part of her you'll be able to know whether she'd been with someone or not in that way. She could have been with other dudes in other ways, and you'd never know. So let's not be naive. So yes, I'm her first guy. I wouldn't in a million years would suspect that all those times together we were a lie. Well, she did a goddamn good job of keeping that dirty secret of hers. I was devoted to making this woman happy. Smack. There's a problem. When a man makes his whole life about making his woman happy and doing whatever she wants and putting her on the pedestal and all that, it does not end well for the guy. In a perfect world, you could do all those things, but unfortunately, that kindness will be perceived as weakness, as it is more and more today in this world. It is what it is. If she's good to you and loyal and loving and supportive and good communicator and takes care of you in the bedroom and all the things I say, then you can treat her well. But there's a difference between treating her well and kissing her ass and make her like the center of the universe. But the problem is, a lot of guys can't understand the difference and make the distinction between the two. I would have died to save this woman if I had to. Smack. I loved her to the core, every inch of her. I did everything to make her happy. That's why it hurts so much right now being betrayed. Or was it really a betrayal if she never really loved me in the first place? It was a betrayal because she told you obviously she loved you and married you, so yes, it is a betrayal. Because I sincerely thought she loved me. I mean, how would anybody pretend to ask for a hug, kiss, and affection to someone for 10 years if they never loved them? Newsflash, there are women all over this world that have settled with a guy who they didn't really want to marry, but did because they wanted a ring on their finger, or that guy makes a good income, and said and did all that, and didn't really mean it. So this isn't just an isolated incident. Would you really want to cuddle up with a man you never ever loved? Women do it all the time. Would you really want to share the same bed with a man you never loved? They do it all the time. Would you really want to hold someone's hand when you never loved? Would you really want to legally be married to a man you never loved? Dude, I'm sorry you're hurting, but come on, man. You are naive as hell. Can you really look into their eyes and say you love them with someone you never loved? For real. For over a decade. Really, can someone be this good at acting? There's lots of actresses all over the place doing the same thing, man. I feel bad for this. If this is a true story, because you have to question these things. But I feel bad for him, but he's naive. He doesn't know. Wouldn't there have been the tiniest inch of me in her heart, reserved with feelings? Did she really, really never love me? Even once. For real, not even once. Yes, I'm probably in denial, and I probably will be for a long time, but apparently you can do all those shit without actually loving them, which I still can't believe. Now the update with my current situation. I got up with my buddy last night and asked him what's new, drank a bit, and finally I brought this conversation up. It wasn't easy to bring up. To put it in a literal text, my wife married me because she loved you. He was shocked, of course, and probably just as much as I was. He didn't know what to say for a long time. It seems like she never contacted him even after she left. With that to my surprise, other than our small dinner gatherings together that sometimes happens, she never really contacted him personally. To be honest, she didn't really join those dinner gatherings much either. Well, she's in love with him from afar if nothing was going on, but given the things I know about, you can't rule anything out with this so-called friend. I asked him, did my wife ever say she had feelings for you? To that he mentioned, a long time ago, yes. She did say she had feelings for me, but that was more than a decade ago, before you two were dating, and we were young and dumb. Okay, it was before they were dating, but still he should have mentioned it to his buddy here. We talked for a long time about a lot of things, mostly about our past, our school years, college years, life, everything. And now here I am feeling guilty. I feel guilty to the point it hurts my guts. Why are you feeling guilty, man? He didn't have to be involved in this messy story, but my selfish ass decided it was a good idea to talk to him about it. I regret it. He said sorry, even though it was not his fault. I'm a terrible person for this. Dude, you're not a terrible person. You had to talk to somebody and get it out. There's nothing wrong with that. As for my wife, we are meeting up in 2 weeks. If you ask why in 2 weeks, she left an email saying that she's in another country because she also felt like she needed to go off someplace to put things together and will return in 2 weeks. Okay. I think she's off her freaking meds. That's what I think. If you ask me why I'm meeting up with her, she said it's okay with me. She wants to meet up for a talk, and I agreed to it. I've had lots to talk to her about. I haven't really had a proper sleep for weeks, and I'm tired. I'd say, bitch, you're going to get your ass on the plane and come back here when I'm not waiting 2 weeks. I'm sorry for the rant. I didn't mean to. Forgive me. Thank you for hearing me out. Best wishes for you all. And now on to the final update in this very bizarre, mysterious story here. He says, hello to all. It's been quite a while since my last post. Things took a turn in a big way during those couple of months. Some kind people sent messages to ask me how I was doing and what was happening. I couldn't answer any of it because I was too devastated to answer. So here's my update. To make things short, my wife died, and I am a widower. I didn't see that coming when I first read this. You may say, what the fuck, after reading this, but she died, and it was by ending her life. We met shortly after the email she sent me. Believe it or not, it wasn't pretty. I thought I could keep myself together, but it ended up being hideous. Never had I cried so much in my life, and never had I been so used in my life. I honestly, sincerely, deeply felt the meaning of betrayal. I get he's going through a whirlwind of emotions and being betrayed and all that, but, if someone told me that they married me to get close to my buddy, and everything was a lie, and, I wouldn't be feeling too bad if, that person disappeared and left the world. So much she's not getting half my shit. I know, I'm a heartless bastard. You can all say that. My conversation with her is basically a repeated routine of why did you do this to me? How can you do this to me? And why did you marry me? Why now you have chosen to reveal this to me? She didn't really give me a clear answer to my question. She was mostly quiet, and she only gave me answers that made me even more emotional. One thing I do remember was her saying, I'm sorry. You're sorry, you can say a lot more than that, honey. After some more meaningless conversations, I said I wanted a divorce. Not loving me was one thing, but to deceive me for a decade is another, and she agreed to it. Since we needed a year of separation before marriage, we got separated, and that was it. I told her sincerely to F off and never show herself in front of me ever again. I don't blame him. You can't blame him. And then she died. A week after that, I got a phone call from my mother-in-law alerting me that she had died. She took a pill and didn't wake up again. She didn't leave a note or anything to anyone. She just left for good, and that was it. Well, that tells us somebody's a real selfish asshole when they can't even leave a note to their loved ones, their family. Even if it wasn't to him, at least to her parents explaining something, I think this broad was severely screwed up. That's what I think. Again, off her meds. And then she took too many meds. It's been 3 months since she passed away. A deep trauma has been placed inside me, and I've been seeking therapy since. Hasn't gotten better, but with that, I'm functioning as the bare minimum of a human being, at least. I don't think I'll ever find absolution from this incident. My life has been tormented, torn apart, and my entire self can't function as it used to. I'm not even sure if I put this in the right form, if that would make sense. If it is a mess, I'm sorry. This was the best I could do. I gotta tell you guys, people, they use Reddit to really vent. And a lot of guys, it doesn't make them feel better, but crazy stories nevertheless. That's why I call his channel They Did What. Some may find my story disturbing, or some may find it made up. I don't really mind if you find it as a lie. I myself have a hard time believing this, and I'm still processing. I guess I'll never find out what her true feelings were and what she wanted to do with me. But if one of her goals was to haunt me for the rest of my life, she did a damn good job of doing that. This was the last post I will ever make with this post. There's no meaning to life anymore for me, but I will have to go on. Dude, it's not over. You're young. I really appreciate your concerns and kindness for the past 3 months. I wish you all the well. Thank you. Well, that was the end of that warped story. And I did it because, aside from being wacko, because that's what I do here, is to show you that there are women, guess what, all the time marry guys that they're not in love with for various reasons. His money, his resources, same thing, his status, get close to somebody else, the clock's ticking for the biological clock, there's a lot of things. And he's just like, how could she fake her feelings? How could she sleep with me? How could she do this? Plenty of women do that. But this is a guy I think is just very naive, not really aware of reality in terms of how things are, human nature with women, all that. But him saying that my life is over, no, it's not. A lot of guys think that. No, it's not. She's gone. At least he didn't have to give her half his shit. He now can either continue his life, continue on, move forward, and learn from his mistakes, like a better screening process for women in the future, or he can wallow around in misery. That sucks. But you know what? 10 years of his life, that's a big chunk of life, but he still has plenty of life to live. So for any of you guys watching this, feel like you wasted your life with someone, and it was a big sham, a big lie, unless you're like 90 years old, you got plenty of life to go, okay? Seriously. So don't let somebody else do that to you. And we all have hard times in life. We all make mistakes and do things we look back and say, wish we did differently. But there's no reason to throw in the towel for life. So this guy, he's going to be okay, but he has to choose to be okay. Whether he's okay or not is his choice and how he handles the situation. But once again, as I always say, you must have a serious screening process in the women you get involved with, let alone marry. And some will, a whole lot, will marry guys they're not in love with just to get something out of them. It is really sad. I don't feel bad for her, but I'm a heartless bastard. She was messed up. I really do think that chick was seriously off her meds or something. But nevertheless, she did him wrong, and this guy now has a second shot at life. I wish him the best. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below and know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.